Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Once again, my name is Michael Timmons. I am the author of the Lycan War Saga and the Shards of the Coven series. I am also the organizer for the Writer's Block Author Fair, which is held here in Toledo on October 22nd this year. It'll be a great time. It'll be over 30 authors there from a variety of genres. So if you happen to live in the Toledo area, come and check us out. Well, as promised, I have returned with my Kickstarter. It's all set, all up and running. It's been running since September 20th, I believe. And right now I am currently at 1,000 out of my 4,500 goal. But I wanted to go through a little bit and show you what I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edit Project. I'm going to walk you through the different steps that we got going there, assuming that this will actually load when I click on it. Okay. So, as you're doing your project, basically, you're going to start with the basics, as they like to call it. You're going to put your project title. Now, the trick here is, of course, come up with something that's interesting and eye-catching and will catch people's interests. So, I decided to go with reimagining the Lycan War Saga, and had a little cover subtitle kind of explains a little bit more about what I wanted to do. So creating new cover art for the entire Lycan War Saga. You're gonna have to pick your category, and obviously for books, it's under the primary category is publishing. Subcategory, fiction. For some strange reason, here are the subcategories. For some reason, I don't know why, but they have not added fantasy or science fiction or anything like that as a subcategory. I'm not really sure I understand that exactly why, because a good portion of the projects, the publishing projects that I have seen on Kickstarter have been primarily fantasy or science fiction based. So why they haven't put that as a subcategory yet, not really sure. Hopefully they'll put something like that soon, although it does not seem to hamper projects being funded, because there are projects every day, publishing projects funded for science fiction and fantasy books every day. I see them all the time. Project location, you can leave this blank. You don't need to fill it out. I believe I mentioned this in the last video. If I didn't, well, here we are. I think that it's good to put it in there, but you don't need to. I think it's good to put it in there just because you may get somebody who lives in your area, who lives in Ohio. As you know, for me, I'm Sylvania, Ohio. Maybe lives in Ohio and say, "Ooh, an Ohio, author. I really want to support them because I live in Ohio too." You never know. The point is, it's better to have it there and possibly prompt someone to support your project than to not have it and not give a reason for somebody to support your project, in my opinion. Like I said, you can leave it blank. That's your call. What do you want to do? Project image. Now, because I'm going to be doing new cover art, I decided not to put the old cover art in the project image. I did actually initially have a different project image, which actually did feature the old artwork, but I decided I didn't want to do that. So I commissioned this particular piece of artwork a while ago to show one of the teams or one of the groups of were creatures, shifters that are part of the story. And unfortunately, I never got around to commissioning the second one because, well, it wasn't cheap the first time around, and so I just haven't bothered to do it yet. I may get around to doing it. I really like this artwork for it. So the point is, as with anything book related, the visuals should be stunning, should be fascinating, should draw the eye, should be pique interest, should be something that when people see it, they know what it's about, and if they're interested in that type of genre, that stories, those things, then they're gonna go, ooh, like they're gonna see this and they say, ooh, werewolves, were-tigers, oh, there's different, different types of shifters. That's so fascinating. And they're gonna click and find out. Now, project video. They say this is optional. I will tell you that it really isn't. Well, I take it back. It is optional. You don't have to do it. But as it says here, 80% of successful projects have a video. So I've seen different things. I've seen book trailers used, and I've seen videos like I put here, where basically it's just talking about the project. It's me explaining what the project is, talking about my books. I think, in my opinion, that works better. Show your enthusiasm for your project. People like that. They want to see the person who is writing the books or doing the art, whatever. They want to see your enthusiasm for what you're offering. Because when you do that, they share in your enthusiasm. It gets them hyped, and they believe in your project more. That's my opinion. Funding goal. Now, I have seen two different thoughts on this. I am looking to pay for 3 cover arts. Now, each one of those cover arts is going to cost me $1,400. So, as you can see, that's not cheap. And I take that back. I'm sorry, not $1,400. They went up in price. That was the old price. All 3 artworks are going to cost me $5,000 altogether. So, I'm not going to do the math right here, but as you see, it's a little bit more. I'm not asking for that because I didn't want to get too expensive in the cost, but so I'm asking for $4,500. Now, I've seen some people say that that's fine. It's okay to have a large funding goal, and I've seen lots of people say you should go with a smaller funding goal because Kickstarter likes projects that get funded quickly. That they tend to promote those a little bit more. So my thought on this is I have a very expensive project funding that I need. I don't want to try to fund something, and even though I may reach my goal, it's still not going to be enough for me to actually do the project. You understand? So I wanted to keep it somewhere close to where I needed it, in hopes that I will reach that goal. If I exceed that goal, then I will have enough money that will be part of the funding that will pay for all of it, instead of having me to cough up another $500, which, obviously, in order to fill a lot of the rewards, I will need to have that because people are expecting that 3rd book to have a cover on it, which is fine. I'm okay with, if I have to come up with that money, I'm okay with that. I want to get close. Hopefully, I have to at least get the goal, otherwise I lose the funding. But if I can pass that goal and get to closer to $5,000, which is actually the real cost I need, all the better. So it's kind of whatever you need and what you're willing to do. If you are willing to risk the fact that, hopefully you put your goal lower and fund quickly and have Kickstarter promote you or, show you up on their Projects We Love, which apparently is a huge boost, then you can risk that. And hopefully you'll get more, interest in your project and get above and beyond what you actually need. It's hard to say which one's better. If I don't reach my goal in this project, I am probably going to back down to trying to do just one cover at a time and just start spacing it out. I don't want to do that, but it is what it is. Now I had a launch date. I'm sorry. Okay, so actually, well, that was my target launch date, but I think I launched later than that because you do have to go through a process of getting approved. Um, and then my duration, Saturday, October 29th, is when it ends. Now, rewards. And not sponsored by Mountain Dew, but here we go. Now, initially when I did this, I had a lot of rewards that I came up with. Lots of different tiers. But as you can see here, it says most creators offer between 3 to 10 rewards. Where they can get physical items or special experiences. So, I had initially, I think, around 19 reward tiers, and I had to scale that down because I wanted to keep it more concise. And I scaled it down to 10. Now, I had a little more difficulty doing that because I essentially am offering a whole series, but some people may not want to get a whole series because that's, it's not cheap. And so maybe they want to go with one book at a time, or maybe they want to get the first 2 books and they'll deal with the 3rd book if they actually enjoyed the series. Because obviously, never ever read this, so they want to get an idea of what's going on. So, there is this just because. Now, that is just, people who want to basically donate just because. Now, you don't need to add that. They actually have one of those put in. I put it on there, because I wasn't aware that they had one that's automatically built into every project that goes up on Kickstarter. There's always this base just because. So, whatever you don't need to have one. Now, let me get to one that I can actually edit. All right, so basically, you're gonna have a title. Now, most people do some sort of catchy title difference. Like here, I have Lycan Lord. You don't need to do that. You can just put what they're offering for each one. So, but I have Lycan Lord. I have any 2 paperbacks plus. So I have a dollar amount. So basically, in this one, you receive 2 signed paperback books from the Lycan Lord saga. So they can choose. They can get book 1 and book 2. There are some people who may already own book 1 out there and might want to, when I've sent, this out in my newsletter. So there may be somebody who already has the first book, but they don't have the second or obviously the 3rd book. So maybe they only want to get 2 of the books. So I'm offering this up. So, and the important thing is to not only just have that, but you want to add a little extra, a little swag, something that makes the your particular reward worth getting. Because obviously, they can get books whenever, this is a little bit more than some people would pay, but for 2 books, it's $65. But they're getting a bookmark and book plate. These are exclusive. So for Kickstarter, which right here. So you also receive an exclusive 5-year anniversary bookmark and book plate. And I put it in there, see, obviously, because I already have book 1 and book 2 written. So it's book 1 or book 2. You'll receive those sometime this year or in the beginning of next year because they'll already be able to get that earlier. Just whenever I get the covers done and picked out and attached to the books, then I can send them the books. You can also build out a list. Now, I didn't do this. I wrote it on here. So I'm not really sure how this works in this particular one. I probably could have added these things to that, but oh well. Anyways, contents. For this one, it's physical goods. You can have physical goods and digital goods. Like, let's say you offer the signed copy of the book plus the ebook, or plus the audiobook that you're going to send digitally. Then you can do both, physical and that. So no only digital goods. Let's say you're just sending an ebook. That's the first reward that I have on there is just the ebooks. So then you click on that. Shipping, you can choose to ship worldwide. Obviously, that becomes more of an expensive transaction because sending to Bulgaria is a lot more expensive than sending it to Idaho. So just keep that in mind. I try to keep mine U.S. and Canada because those are affordable. They don't really hike up the cost. There are programs out there that are websites that help with fulfilling your rewards, and they have a very simple transaction on how to figure out the cost of shipping around the world. Like I said, I just try to keep it simple. Most people, I believe, on Kickstarter are U.S. or Canada based. Could be wrong on that. I'm not really sure. I probably should check to see. Maybe I want to expand this out to anywhere in the world. I might do that if I have to rerun this again, to see if there are other people across the world that might be open to getting these books, and then maybe I'll be able to hit my my goal quicker. I put in different prices for U.S., Canada. I kind of just round them. I mean, they may be around, or maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but I didn't check to see how much it would cost me to send these things. Just wanted to put like a rough estimate. I know it's going to be around those. Like I said, it might end up costing me a little bit more. But that's okay. I can handle that. It's no big deal. Now, an estimated delivery, obviously this depends on what your project is. My project relies on me finishing the third and final book, so I have to write it, get it edited, and get it formatted and ready for publish. I haven't started writing it at all, so right now I'm sitting at the end of 2022. I'm going to have to write the entire book, get it edited, and get it done. So I put December 2024. Hopefully I can get it earlier, but I want to manage expectations. I didn't want to claim it's going to be quicker than it is, because then you might be telling people, "Oh, I'm sorry, looking at 6 months later," and people are not happy with that. Just try to keep it reasonable. If you already have the books done and you're just looking for, like, let's say if I had the third book already written and really all I'm doing is covers, then I could do it this year, but I can't. I don't have that. So you can put different time limits on these. So let's say you have a different goal. Like I'll show you. I have, let's see here. I actually have here this one, limited time offer for Savannah's. So it started on September 20th and it ended on September 30th. So it's already passed. So it's already done. I didn't have anyone pick that one, but I did have someone pick this one, limited time Kestrel, where there was, I had two people who got that in time. So basically, I kind of scale it up. So I start with the base rewards. Like I said, it's any 2 ebooks. That's my minimum. Then I have one signed paperback. Then any one paperback plus. Now in these, I include cover art, so they get a poster of whichever cover they want. Obviously, you saw this 182 cover paperbacks. I had the limited time 2 paperbacks plus. This is paperbacks plus cover art, so you get 2 posters and the paperbacks. This one, Pure Squire, there's all 3 books, so you get all 3 books signed. That so far is my most popular one, and it's like I said, $95 for that. All 3 books plus, that's all 3 books signed plus cover art. I have a 200 one and I have a 281, which I tied the whole kit and caboodle. I'll show you this one. This is obviously it's the top one. I can't edit it. Let's see. unfortunately, I can't even see what. Well, yeah, okay, here you get everything that is in pure. Oops, sorry. I get everything that's in pure Lord, which I don't think anybody has. I'm sorry. I apologize for this. Just trying to get through this. Okay, let me get out of that. Yeah. Okay. So Pure Lord is got everything that's in Pure Knight. So we'll go with this one. So in this Pure Knight, you receive all signed paperback books of the Like More Saga, plus bookmark, plus bookplate. You get the posters for all the cover arts. You get the book of the exclusive 5-year bookmark and bookplate, and that's all of that one. Now, what you also get, so there's that plus, so you get all that plus additional swag of your choice of the Like More cover. So you pick whichever Like More cover you want. So you can get either a mouse pad or a mug or a t-shirt or a fleece blanket. And then for the whole kit and caboodle, you get all of that. Plus, you get, let's see, you also get to name a new character in the final book. And you get to pick which side of the fight they're on and which were species they are. So it's kind of cool, I think. So those are the rewards. Obviously, you can do everything that you want to do. You can do buttons. There's all these different types of swag. I've seen people who do little gold coins with emblems with dragons on them, depending on what your fantasy book is about. The point is that you want to add something a little extra that will interest people and get them to spend that little bit extra to not only get your books but also support your Kickstarter. Next is the description. Now, how you want to do this is that you want to start with what your project is about. So you don't want to talk about yourself. You don't want to talk about necessarily what you're trying to accomplish. You want people to know what your books are about. So if you're the author, you want to talk a little bit about your story, not your story, but your books. So that's the best thing to start with. Now you also want to split it up. You don't want to have a whole word dump. You want to split it up with images. So find images about your book, or in this particular case, I've got a picture of me, the Like More Saga, and so so I talk about, I start off by talking about what the book is about, what the series is about. I talk about why I wrote the series and why I chose to write it the way I wanted, and talk a little bit about each book and what it's about. Then I go on to talk about myself a little bit about the series as a writing project, and then I go into what I'm trying to accomplish with the Kickstarter goal. So here I talk a little bit about when I published the first one and my other writings, and then I talk about what I want to do, that I want to make new covers, and I talk about the cost. So this is what the cost is. This is why I need Kickstarter to help me fuel it. So in this particular, I talk about the cost. I show some of the other artwork that the artist has done, just so people can see and appreciate why I'm willing to spend the amount of money I'm willing to spend for the cover art. And here I go a little bit more about my past, about why I'm a writer, how I became a writer, and where I'm at as far as what's going on with the series as a whole. Now I have added stretch goals. And what stretch goals are is basically once you exceed or if and when you exceed your goal, your initial goal. So my initial goal is 4,500. So once I've exceeded that, you can add stretch goals that will hopefully kind of help people maybe not only consider purchasing more, but may interest other people into, joining and paying and, contributing to your Kickstarter. So here I have my first stretch goal is I want to do character cards for each of the main characters in their human form and their shifted form on the other side. Now obviously those are not going to be cheap. I need to get an artist to do them. So I haven't announced the cost of or what the goal will be yet, but I wanted to let people know that that's what I want to reach for. When I get closer to actually getting to my goal, the 4,500, that's when I'm going to start telling when these stretch goals will be available. So stretch goal number 2 is I'm going to do a hardback omnibus of the Lekmore Saga. Now once again, that's going to be, I'm going to need a cover for that. So as you can imagine, that's going to be a big jump in just above and beyond the 4,500. And then stretch goal 3 is the audiobooks of the Lekmore Saga. Those are not cheap either, so they're going to be big jumps. Hopefully I'll get there. I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm about a quarter of the way funded. Still have 20 days to go, so I'm getting there. Now, I also put a little bit of some of the reviews that I received. Talk about how many books have been purchased, how many pages have been read, the total ratings for the books. So, obviously, I have some of my really good reviews. And then here I have just kind of a list of the rewards in the kind of a visual form. Obviously, the rewards are on the right-hand side, so they don't need to see this, but this does kind of give a little bit easier way to look at them. All right. So that is your story. People. Now, you have your profile. You can obviously write whatever you want. I think you have a limited amount of letters you can, to do. But yeah, let me see. I'll click on that. So you put it's just a short bio, like 300 characters or less. So, do what you want. They have a vanity URL, so that will give you your quick. If you have any collaborators, so let's say you're, you're doing a children's book, and maybe you have an illustrator. You can add them as your collaborator there. That way, they're able to edit the project. They can communicate with backers and coordinate reward fulfillment. Obviously, I'm a one-man show, so I really don't need that. And the demographics is optional. That's just mainly to ask questions. That's for Kickstarter's use, not for your use. And then next is payment. So that's when you set up how you're going to get paid. So you're going to put in your bank information, and they do verify that first. So that does take a little bit of time. And then once that gets verified, then you submit the project, and they'll review it, and they'll either approve it or dismiss it, or tell you you need to do something to fix it. So that is, in short, my Kickstarter. as I said before in the previous video, I think Kickstarter is a wonderful tool to use to help us as authors to help fund some of these things that are costly. If you're an independent author, getting cover art, getting editing done, all these things are not cheap. So Kickstarter is a great tool to use to help do that. There are so many people out there who will be interested in helping you achieve your dream and funding these things because, you know, unlike GoFundMe, they're actually getting something in return. It's not just charity. They're essentially, it's like a fancy pre-ordering. So they're getting your books, they're paying for your books ahead of time, and then you're able to get them to them, and they're getting some extra stuff as well. And they get to help you out. So it's a win-win for everybody. So, as before, I highly recommend using Kickstarter. I hope this video has been a little helpful, a little walk through each of the steps in Kickstarter. There are some great Facebook pages that will help you as you go through the process of establishing your Kickstarter and setting it up. I am going to post those links down below that will help you talk to other Kickstarters, people who have had successful Kickstarters, who will give you some great advice and will really help you out. They'll also, you know, they'll be willing to basically swap promotion, so they can promote on their newsletter, you can promote in your newsletter, their Kickstarter, and you know, really, it's a nice community to be a part of, and they're all there to help. And you can post your Kickstarter before it gets approved, so they can look it over and then give you suggestions. I changed my Kickstarter setup several times based on their advice, and it's definitely looks a lot better than it did when it started, and I'm very thankful for those. So I will post those down below, as of course I will also post my Kickstarter web address, so you can check it out yourself and maybe be interested and give me some help there and find out if you enjoy my books, and when it comes time for your Kickstarter, give me a DM and I will be more than happy to promote it for you. So I hope this has been very helpful. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if you are about to start your Kickstarter, or if you're in the middle of your Kickstarter campaign and you're looking for some advice or some help or some promotion. Feel free to message me down below in the comments. You can also post your Kickstarter campaign webpage there as well. And make sure, like I said, make sure you like, comment, click on the notification bell, and help me fuel my YouTube channel just a little bit more. And have a wonderful day. Thank you.